This isn't a made-up internet headline. This is the real-world collision of fame law and the fragile line between freedom of speech and digital accountability. Blake Lively, an actress known for her elegance, charm, and private lifestyle, has just shaken the creator world to its core. In a move no one saw coming, Lively's legal team has issued a subpoena to a YouTube content creator with virtually no audience, one subscriber, one voice, but apparently one video that sparked enough concern to trigger legal action. Why? What was said? What kind of ripple effect is this going to have, not just on that creator, but on every creator across YouTube, TikTok, X, and Instagram? We're not talking about a viral scandal here. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how public figures are engaging with criticism and commentary in the digital age. And we're diving deep into it today because this story isn't just about Blake Lively. It's not even just about this one YouTuber. It's about you, the viewer, the consumer of online content, the subscriber, the commenter, the sharer, the creator, because what's happening now could change the rules of online speech as we know it. Let's back up for a second. YouTube has become a modern-day public square. It's where conversations happen. It's where commentary thrives. It's where independent voices, some educated, some emotional, some reckless, try to make sense of the world. For years, creators have believed in one guiding principle: if you don't defame, if you speak from a place of fair use or opinion, you're safe. But this latest move by Lively's legal team has disrupted that confidence. The subpoena isn't just legal paperwork, it's a warning flare. It tells every creator, no matter how small, you're on our radar. Now let's be fair, celebrities are people too. They have every right to defend their name and their families. In a world where rumors spread in seconds and misinformation spirals faster than facts, many public figures feel backed into a corner. So yes, they're responding. But the question we're asking today is, how far is too far, and when is a legal move not about justice but about silence? Because targeting someone with one subscriber doesn't just feel like overkill, it raises red flags about access, power, and legal intimidation. What does it say about the state of celebrity and creator relations when someone that obscure still ends up in the crosshairs of a lawsuit? Think about it. If a major star can subpoena a channel with one viewer, who's safe? And that brings us to the next piece of this puzzle: Candace Owens. Candace, no stranger to controversy, is now entangled in a defamation lawsuit that many say could be the biggest test of commentary speech in years. Her critics claim she crossed the line. Her supporters say she's being punished for speaking uncomfortable truths. No matter where you stand, one thing is clear: the boundaries of free speech are tightening. So what do these two stories, Blake Lively's legal action and Candace Owens' courtroom battle, have in common? Control of image, control of narrative, control of who gets to say what, and what the consequences should be when they do. We are watching a digital world evolve in real time. Where once commentary was raw, fast, and uninhibited, now it's cautious, calculated, and often censored, not by YouTube, not by platforms, but by fear of who might be listening. And the irony, the very people we once saw as untouchable celebrities, influencers, political figures, are now actively engaging with content at the most micro levels. That means what you say on your 15-minute commentary video, what you post in a TikTok reaction, even what you say in a community tab, could be monitored, clipped, and sent to a lawyer. Let's call this what it is: a new era of digital scrutiny, and it's forcing creators into an impossible space. On one hand, they want to be authentic. They want to analyze the news, react to pop culture, and voice their perspective. But on the other hand, they're watching their peers get struck down not by copyright strikes but by court filings. We are entering an age where your opinions could land you in legal hot water. Not because you're a threat, not because you're malicious, but because someone didn't like it. And here's the hardest part of all: the line between defamation and opinion isn't always clear. One person's critique is another person's slander. One person's analysis is another person's character attack. And the courts, they don't always understand the creator ecosystem. They don't always understand satire, tone, exaggeration, or thumbnails. They see names, they see views, and they see potential damage. So today we start this episode not with blame but with clarity, not with hate but with hard questions. Are creators becoming targets of legal overreach? Are public figures doing what they must to protect themselves in a world full of lies and speculation? Or are we walking straight into a digital dystopia where only the most sanitized voices survive? The answers aren't simple, but they matter more now than ever. Because whether you're a fan of Blake Lively or a critic of Candace Owens, whether you're a tiny channel starting from scratch or a rising voice trying to find your place, this moment affects all of us. It's time to talk, time to think, and time to stand up, not just for freedom of speech but for responsible speech. Because if we don't fight to protect the space where truth, opinion, and creativity live, we may lose it to fear, one subpoena at a time. The digital age has created a unique intersection between celebrity culture and the voices of ordinary people. In a shocking and unexpected twist, Blake Lively, beloved actress, mother, and media figure, has reportedly subpoenaed a YouTuber with just 1 subscriber. Yes, you heard that right. Not a viral creator, not a monetized channel, but someone virtually invisible in the vast sea of content creators. What could possibly be behind such a move? Is this part of a larger legal trend among public figures? Or does it reflect something deeper, perhaps a shift in how Hollywood engages with the free and often chaotic world of online commentary? This development comes at a time when the internet is buzzing with discourse around defamation, freedom of speech, and the limits of criticism, especially with Candace Owens' ongoing legal battles setting the tone. What connects these 2 stories is not just celebrity drama or legal wrangling, but a broader question: who gets to control the narrative in the digital world? The YouTuber in question, whose channel features minimal content and likely never imagined being the center of a legal storm, is now facing the intimidating force of celebrity-driven litigation. Reports suggest that the subpoena is related to commentary or content referencing Blake Lively's name, image, or legal affairs. But what exactly did they say? Was it misinformation? Or was it simply commentary protected under fair use and free speech? This isn't just about one creator, it's about all of us. It's about the boundaries between celebrity privacy and public accountability. It's about whether large legal teams can or should use the subpoena process as a tool to silence dissent or criticism. And it's about what happens when the powerful set their sights on the powerless. Meanwhile, in a parallel headline-grabbing controversy, Candace Owens is grappling with defamation litigation of her own. The commentator, known for her bold political stances, is facing questions about the impact of her statements and whether public commentary can go too far. Owens has defended herself by framing the lawsuit as an attack on her free speech. But critics argue that speech, particularly speech with massive reach, carries responsibilities. These 2 cases, while different in scale and context, reveal a growing tension. Public figures are no longer satisfied with issuing statements or using traditional PR strategies. They're turning to the courts and in some cases targeting even the smallest voices, whether it's a single subscriber YouTuber or a nationally syndicated commentator. The legal system is becoming a new battlefield for public perception. The Lively subpoena raises a key concern: is this legal intimidation, or is it a necessary move to protect her reputation in a world where rumors can spread like wildfire? Celebrities are constantly in the crosshairs, often falsely accused or misrepresented, so their desire to control the narrative is understandable. But where is the line? When does legal protection become censorship? Many are also asking whether this trend will encourage more celebrities to follow suit. If someone with 1 subscriber can be legally targeted, what does that mean for medium-sized creators with growing audiences? Will this set a chilling precedent where creators second-guess every word, every thumbnail, every speculation? The core of the debate is this: what is fair criticism and what crosses the line into defamation or harmful misinformation? Unfortunately, the answer is not always clear-cut. Defamation laws vary by jurisdiction, and what one court sees as malicious falsehood, another might view as opinionated speech. In Lively's case, the lack of public detail about what triggered the subpoena only adds to the mystery and the concern. On the other hand, some legal experts suggest that the subpoena could be part of a broader strategy, not to sue the YouTuber per se, but to obtain information about the origins of a rumor or identify who may have coordinated content across multiple platforms. If that's the case, the subpoena is not an attack but an attempt to trace accountability. Regardless of motive, this situation is triggering strong reactions online. Creators, fans, and free speech advocates are voicing concern that the digital space is becoming increasingly hostile to open discussion. Some fear that the ability to critique public figures is being eroded by lawsuits, legal notices, and cease and desist letters. Meanwhile, in the Candace Owens case, we're seeing the other side of the coin. What happens when public figures dish it out but then get sued for it? Owens, who built her career on fearless and often provocative speech, is now facing the consequences of that style. And whether she wins or loses, the outcome of that lawsuit could reshape how commentators frame their content going forward. Are we watching the early stages of a chilling transformation in how the internet works, where billion-dollar figures can pick and choose whose voices are silenced simply because they have the resources to do so? Or are we witnessing a much-needed correction, where online creators are held to a higher standard of truth in a digital environment fueled by virality, speculation, and occasionally reckless storytelling? It's inevitable that some boundaries will be tested, but the danger lies in going too far the other way, where fear of litigation silences valuable discourse. especially when that discourse holds powerful figures accountable. The battle is not just legal, it's cultural, it's emotional, it's about power, and at its core it's about who gets to speak and who gets silenced. As the dust begins to settle around the initial shock of Blake Lively subpoenaing a virtually unknown YouTuber, the conversation has shifted from outrage to deep introspection. This isn't just celebrity gossip anymore. It's a mirror to our society's evolving understanding of influence, fear, and the digital power dynamic between the spotlight and the shadows. The legal move may seem excessive at first glance, especially when aimed at someone with just one subscriber, but let's be clear, the number doesn't always matter. What matters is the content and whether that content has the potential to cause harm. Whether legally, reputationally, or emotionally, a video with 10 views could still say something legally actionable. But is a full-blown subpoena truly the best way to handle it? Legal experts suggest that celebrities often use subpoenas not necessarily to punish individuals but to send a message. A message that says we're watching, we're ready to act, and we will defend ourselves. It creates a ripple effect throughout the content creation community, warning others to tread carefully. But what's the cost of sending that message for small creators? It's fear. The fear that a wrong word or speculative remark, even if framed as opinion, could lead to legal threats. Some may argue that it encourages accountability, but others see it as a subtle form of suppression. The message isn't just watch what you say, it's don't say anything at all. In this scenario, the internet ceases to be a place of open dialogue and becomes a carefully patrolled zone. And that's not just a loss for creators, it's a loss for audiences too. Because the power of YouTube, TikTok, podcasts, and commentary channels lies in their ability to challenge the mainstream narrative, to ask hard questions, to dig deeper. But when someone like Blake Lively, known for being relatively private and protective of her family, resorts to legal action, it suggests that something more personal may be at stake. Was the content targeted toward her family? Was it based on speculation about ongoing legal matters or private affairs? If so, the motivation behind the subpoena becomes clearer. She may not be trying to crush dissent, she may be trying to protect her children, her name, and her peace of mind. Still, even if the intention is genuine, the impact can be chilling. It's not just about what's right or wrong legally, it's about perception. And right now the perception is that public figures are cracking down on criticism harder than ever before. This brings us to Candace Owens' case. While her situation is vastly different in terms of scale and substance, it serves as a critical contrast. Owens, known for her unapologetic and often controversial commentary, is facing a defamation lawsuit over statements made in the public sphere. She's built her brand on being outspoken, but now finds herself in the position of defending that speech in court. In public appearances, Owens has maintained that her words were grounded in truth and journalistic intent, but the plaintiffs argue that her statements went beyond critique and into harmful misrepresentation. It's a familiar tightrope walk. How far can a person go in discussing others without crossing a legal line? Interestingly, Owens' defense hinges on a principle that many creators also rely on: freedom of expression. That's the very same principle that may be threatened when a small YouTuber is subpoenaed by a Hollywood heavyweight. This parallel exposes a kind of hypocrisy in the cultural landscape. Some individuals or institutions champion free speech when it benefits them, but seek to limit it when they're the target. This duality is critical to understanding the growing unease among creators. They're beginning to ask, what are the rules? Who gets to speak freely and who gets silenced? And why are the lines constantly shifting depending on who holds the power? In both the Lively and Owens stories, power is a central theme. Lively wields the power of celebrity, legal resources, and public sympathy. Owens wields the power of platform reach and political clout. But in each case, the power dynamic is being tested and not everyone emerges unscathed. Creators online have started sharing their own experiences of receiving cease and desist letters, takedown notices, and copyright claims for content they believe to be lawful and fair. Some even question if the platform algorithms themselves are indirectly enforcing silence, especially when controversial content gets demonetized or deprioritized in search. What's becoming increasingly clear is that the internet isn't the Wild West it once was. There are real consequences now for speaking out, especially if the subject of that speech is wealthy, influential, or legally armed. The Lively subpoena and Owens' lawsuit are just symptoms of a broader cultural transformation, one that affects everyone from anonymous posters to full-time content creators. But let's not lose hope. These cases also represent a powerful opportunity for dialogue. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths about fairness, justice, and speech. They challenge both creators and celebrities to rethink how they engage with one another. And they encourage audiences to look beyond the headlines and ask what's really going on here. Whether you're on Team Lively, Team YouTuber, or simply Team Truth, the takeaway is the same. We're entering a new era of media accountability. One where every word matters, every opinion has weight, and every creator, big or small, must be prepared to defend what they say. In Part 3, we'll dive deeper into the reaction from fans, content creators, and legal analysts. What are the broader implications of these cases? How are platforms responding? And where do we go from here in protecting both free speech and reputational safety? As the news of Blake Lively's subpoena against a virtually unknown YouTuber spread across the internet, it didn't take long for outrage, confusion, and speculation to take over. Social media was set ablaze with trending hashtags ranging from hashtag free speech for all to hashtag Blake vs YouTube, as creators large and small began to question what this all means for the future of online commentary. Many fans of Blake Lively expressed their shock, some defending her action by saying she has every right to protect herself from malicious or misleading content, regardless of the creator's size. Others, however, voiced concern that the move was excessive, raising the question, what could a YouTuber with just one subscriber possibly say that would warrant this level of legal attention? The silence from Lively's legal team regarding the specific reasons behind the subpoena has only fueled speculation. Was it a preemptive move to prevent the spread of potential misinformation? Was the channel linked to a larger content network, or was this simply a targeted example meant to discourage others from creating similar content? On the flip side, content creators everywhere are feeling the pressure. Many mid-level and rising YouTubers have taken to their platforms to talk about the growing legal fear that's now a part of their everyday work. The idea that a celebrity can and will subpoena even the most unknown creators has introduced a level of anxiety that wasn't there before. A few notable commentary YouTubers have even started re-editing past videos, scrubbing names, censoring images, and clarifying statements to avoid anything that could be perceived as defamatory. The message is clear: the rules have changed. What's fascinating is that we're watching this unfold in real time. Creators are no longer just entertainers or opinion givers. They're now being treated as legal entities with the potential to cause real reputational harm. That's a massive shift from the early YouTube days where commentary was fast, loose, and largely unregulated. In the midst of this digital storm, Candace Owens' defamation case serves as an equally powerful contrast. Owens herself has built a career on bold, sometimes inflammatory speech, and now she finds herself in the courtroom defending that very style of communication. Her response has been consistent: she believes in her right to speak, to criticize, and to engage with public discourse without censorship. Her defenders argue that if public figures like her can be sued for speaking openly, then anyone can be. But her critics point out that speech has consequences, especially when it involves false claims, character attacks, or harmful rhetoric.